The abyss beckons. Chris Watts's calculated plunge into familial oblivion. What if the whispers of Daddy, no, echoed eternally in a killer's skull, a child's final plea drowned in crude oil, while her father, once her protector, watched life fade from her eyes? Envision the suffocating dread as a pregnant woman fights for breath in her own bed, her unborn son's heartbeat racing in sync with her terror, only for silence to claim them both. This is no fever dream. It's the escalating horror of Chris Watts, the 2018 suburban executioner whose meticulously woven web of lies snapped under the weight of his own monstrous impulses. As the clock ticks toward annihilation, feel the pulse quickening build-up. How long can a facade hold before the blood seeps through? The facade fractures, ominous whispers in a perfect storm. In Frederick, Colorado's deceptively serene streets, Chris and Shanann Watts' life teetered on a knife's edge, their social media glow masking a volcano of resentment. Shanann, vibrant and unyielding, poured her soul into Lavelle, her MLM empire, flooding feeds with triumphant family montages. Bella's wide-eyed wonder, Celeste's infectious giggles, and the ultrasound promise of Nichol. But beneath the filters lurked financial quicksand, a 2015 bankruptcy devouring $448,000, medical debts from Shanann's lupus battles stacking like unpaid bills. Chris, the stoic Anadarko roustabout, simmered in silence, his texts to Shanann growing curt, intimacy evaporating like morning mist. The tension coiled tighter with each revelation. Weeks prior, Chris's Google history betrayed his darkening thoughts. How do people react when someone disappears? Women who get away with murder, foreshadowing the abyss. Shanann sensed the rift, her desperate messages pleading. Chris hasn't touched me in 5 weeks. He's changed unseen, his affair with Nichol Kessinger ignited like wildfire. Stolen motel trysts, fabricated divorce tales, even casual chats about life insurance as if erasing his family was just another policy upgrade. The air thickened with impending doom. Shanann drafted a reconciliation speech, unaware her return flight home was a one-way ticket to oblivion. The Midnight Reckoning, a symphony of suffocation and shadows. August 13th, 2018, 1:48 a.m. The Uber's headlights pierce the night as Shanann steps into the dimly lit house, exhaustion masking her unease. Chris lurks in the shadows, the girl's soft breaths upstairs a fragile barrier against the storm. What unfolds is a crescendo of carnage. Chris initiates the talk, his voice a low rumble of separation. Shanann's world shatters, tears, pleas, but in his chilling recount, she lunges in rage. The truth, unearthed in autopsies, amps the horror. He pins her down, hands like vices around her throat, her Fitbit exploding to 111 BPM in a 10-minute death struggle, bruises blooming as she claws for air, perhaps gasping prayers for her babies. But the nightmare escalates. Earlier, Chris had crept into the girls' rooms, pillows descending like death shrouds. Celeste first, then Bella, only for their tiny bodies to convulse back to life, blue-lipped and bewildered. Now, with Shanann's corpse cooling, he hauls her into his truck like discarded baggage. The girls, alive and terrified, strapped in beside her for the agonizing 45-minute drive to the oil fields. Bella's voice pierces the cab. What happened to Cece? As Chris smothers Celeste, her body going slack. Then Bella, fighting fiercest her daddy, no, a dagger to the soul before he drops them into the tanks. Oil invading lungs, throats swelling in silent screams, hair snagging on hatches in futile escape. By dawn, Chris clocks in, heart rate steady, as if the night's symphony of death was just a bad dream. The noose tightens. Polygraphs, pleas, and piercing betrayals. As the sun rises, the charade intensifies. Shanann misses her meeting. Friend Nichol's calls ignite panic. Chris feigns concern, but his porch interview that evening is a masterclass in deception, voice quivering just so. If you're out there, come back. Yet the walls close in. Kessinger's texts flood with suspicion, her own searches frantic. Man I'm having affair with says he will leave his wife August 15th. The polygraph room pulses with tension. Chris's spikes betray him like a guilty heartbeat. The confession erupts in waves. To his father Ronnie, a partial lie. Shanann killed the girls, drawing a horrified gasp. Pressed harder, he crumbles, directing rescuers to the site where divers confront the unthinkable. Oil-slicked toddlers, Shanann's shallow grave. In prison, the dam breaks further. Demons urged me, he claims, but letters reveal a narcissistic prophet, haunted by Bella's thrashing resistance. Shanann's final confrontation. You're never going to see the kids again, she warned, sealing her fate. If this escalating spiral of betrayal and brutality has your pulse racing, subscribe to Behind the Veil Truths for more heart-stopping plunges into the abyss. Your next nightmare revelation is lurking just beyond the subscribe button. The verdict's thunder, shackles, screams, and unyielding hauntings. November 19th, 2018. Courtroom air crackles as Shanann's family unleashes fury. Brother Frankie branding Chris a monster. Parents Frank and Sandy weeping through statements that echo like thunderclaps. Judge Kopkow's gavel seals it. 5 life sentences, no parole, plus decades for the unborn and desecration. Chris's mother. Cindy's victim-blaming sparks online firestorms. Denial cults on Reddit insisting he's charming or framed. Kessinger flees into shadows. Her cooperation the final nail. In 2025's Wisconsin cell, Chris is a pariah, Bible in hand, demons his excuse, Bella's cry his eternal torment. Netflix's American Murder still surges, its raw vlogs contrasting Shanann's joy with Chris's dead-eyed deceit. Sealed files tease more horrors. X-threads ablaze with new confessions. The eternal echo, a precipice of unresolved dread. As the oil stain lingers, the tension never releases. Was it lust's inferno, debt's stranglehold, or a soul-born void? Shanann's foundation screams warnings, emotional voids, secret searches, the next killer's blueprint. In our filtered world, the abyss stares back, one like away from eruption. If this heightened dread leaves you breathless, subscribe to Behind the Veil. Truths, immediately. The shadows deepen with every case we crack. What terror teeters on your horizon?